Zara adjusted her uniform as she walked through the long, shining corridors of the Vereen Council Station. The walls glimmered with soft lights that shifted like liquid, reflecting the colors of the galaxy outside. Every step she took echoed softly, but she did not mind. She was used to this place. This station was the center of diplomacy in the galaxy, where countless species met to resolve conflicts without war. Zara was proud of her work. She was a skilled negotiator, known for keeping calm in tense situations. Her species, the Vereen, had always valued logic and precision. She believed that reason could solve most problems, and she had spent years learning the subtleties of interstellar politics. Today, however, she felt a strange mix of excitement and tension. She was assigned to lead a delicate mission, negotiating peace between two planets that had been at war for decades. As she entered the conference hall, she saw a human standing by the holographic table. He was tall and lean, with dark hair that fell slightly over his forehead. His eyes were calm yet full of intelligence. He looked out of place among the alien delegates, but there was a quiet confidence about him that made her pause. "Hello," he said in perfect Vereen common, the shared language of the council. "I am Leo. I have been assigned to assist you." Zara studied him for a moment. Humans were rare in these halls, and most of the other diplomats had little faith in them. They were seen as inexperienced, fragile, and naive. But there was something different about Leo. He did not fidget or try to impress anyone. He simply stood straight, observing everything with sharp eyes. "I am Zara," she replied. "You are aware this mission is dangerous. These planets do not trust outsiders, especially humans." Leo smiled slightly. "I understand. I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm here to help." Zara felt a small spark of respect. Most humans were reckless or overconfident, but Leo seemed to measure his words carefully. The mission began the next day. Zara and Leo traveled to the neutral world where the leaders of the two warring planets had agreed to meet. The council had arranged for a secure conference chamber, but tension was thick. Guards patrolled the halls and cameras recorded every move. Zara knew that one wrong word could ignite a new war. When the leaders arrived, they did not greet Zara warmly. One of the alien leaders, a tall creature with silver scales, leaned forward and hissed, "Why send a human to negotiate with us? Do they even understand the consequences of war?" Zara remained calm. "Leo is well trained in diplomacy. We are here to find solutions, not to fight." The silver-scaled leader's eyes narrowed, clearly unconvinced. Leo stepped forward. "I have studied your history and your treaties. I understand the stakes. My goal is to help find a solution that saves lives on both sides." His words were simple, but they carried weight. The leaders exchanged uncertain glances. It was clear they had not expected a human to speak with such clarity. For hours, the negotiations continued. Zara presented the council's proposals while Leo observed, occasionally asking questions that showed insight and care. When a disagreement grew heated, he stepped in calmly, redirecting the discussion toward practical solutions. He did not argue or yell. He simply guided the conversation in a way that made both sides think differently. Zara watched him carefully. She realized that Leo had a quality few diplomats possessed, courage mixed with compassion. He could see the bigger picture without being blinded by pride or fear. She began to trust him more than any of her other assistants. During a break, Zara and Leo walked outside the conference hall. The station orbited a blue-green planet and the view was breathtaking. Clouds swirled below like rivers of light, and distant stars sparkled against the black sky. "You handle pressure well," Zara said. "Most humans would panic in there." Leo shook his head. "I do not see it as panic. I see it as responsibility. These people's lives are in our hands. If we fail, thousands will suffer. That thought keeps me focused." Zara was impressed. Many diplomats spoke of responsibility, but acted cautiously to protect themselves. Leo's courage was different. It came from genuine care for others. As the days passed, Zara and Leo grew closer. They spent long hours preparing proposals, analyzing the history of conflicts and studying each leader's personality. In quiet moments, they talked about their pasts. Zara learned that Leo had grown up on Earth, a planet far from the stars where humans had once been explorers and warriors. He spoke of his childhood with honesty and warmth. He had seen hardship, but he had always believed in the power of goodness and courage. "I want to make a difference," he said one evening. Even if it is small, even if it seems impossible. Zara nodded. I believe that too. Sometimes small actions can change the future. Their friendship deepened, and Zara began to see qualities in Leo she had never seen in anyone else. He was brave, intelligent, compassionate, and unwavering in the face of danger. She knew that marrying him would surprise her peers who did not trust humans. But she also knew that Leo was someone she could rely on with her life. One night, after a particularly difficult session of negotiations, Zara and Leo watched the stars from the observation deck. The galaxy seemed calm, almost peaceful, even though conflict brewed in the distance. Zara, Leo said quietly, I know this mission is important, but I hope we can survive it and look back on it someday. I hope we can live our lives together, even if the galaxy is full of challenges. Zara felt her heart beat faster. She looked at him, seeing sincerity in his eyes that went beyond words. I hope that too, Leo. I do not care what others think. I trust you. I believe in you. They held hands, feeling a connection that went deeper than words or species. In that moment, they were not diplomat and assistant. They were two beings united by courage, hope, and the desire to make a difference. The next morning, Zara faced her colleagues in the council. Whispers spread quickly about her decision to marry a human. Many raised concerns, warning that humans were weak and that Leo would be ill-prepared for the galaxy's dangers. Zara stood firm. I am aware of the risks, she said. Leo is brave and intelligent. He has shown courage in every situation. I trust him. I will marry him because he is worthy, and because I believe in the goodness he brings to the galaxy. Some frowned, but others nodded quietly. It was a bold choice, and it marked Zara as a leader willing to trust her judgment over prejudice. Soon, preparations began for their marriage. Amid political tension and whispers, Zara and Leo found small moments of happiness. They trained together, discussed strategies, and shared quiet meals. Each moment strengthened their bond and prepared them for the trials ahead. One evening, as they walked along the observation deck, Leo looked out at the swirling nebulae. The galaxy is dangerous, he said. Many people will not understand us, and even fewer will trust us. But together we can face it. We can show that courage and compassion are stronger than fear. Zara smiled. I believe that. I believe in us. And I believe that one day humans will earn the respect they deserve across the stars. The sun of the nearby planet began to rise, painting the station in shades of gold and orange. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, full of challenges, dangers, and unknown wonders. But for the first time, Zara felt a sense of hope that went beyond her work. She knew the path ahead would not be easy. Wars were brewing and danger lurked around every star. But with Leo by her side, she believed they could face anything. She believed that courage, compassion, and unity could change the galaxy, one choice at a time. As the council prepared for the next round of negotiations, Zara and Leo stood together, ready to face whatever came next. In a universe that often feared humans and dismissed outsiders, they were a reminder that strength could come from unexpected places. And for Zara, that truth was a promise of hope and love that could not be shaken. Zara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility and the light of possibility at the same time. The galaxy awaited, and she and Leo would step forward together, prepared to leave their mark. The day after their marriage, Zara and Leo returned to the quiet life aboard the Vereen home station. The station hummed with energy as diplomats moved quickly through the corridors, but Zara and Leo found comfort in the small moments they shared. Despite the grandeur and chaos around them, they had each other. Zara watched Leo carefully as he adjusted to his new life on Vereen. Humans had not been common in her world for generations, and many of her peers still questioned Leo's presence. Some whispered behind their hands, saying that humans were too weak, too inexperienced to survive the harsh realities of interstellar politics. Zara ignored them. She knew Leo's courage and determination. She had seen it firsthand during negotiations. Leo, for his part, tried to adapt to alien customs. He struggled at first with the strict etiquette of the council and the subtle ways the Vereen communicated. But he never gave up. Each mistake became a lesson, each failure a chance to learn. He studied the history of Vereen law, the language of other species, and the intricate protocols of diplomacy. Slowly, he began to gain respect from those who had doubted him. Zara could not help but admire him. Many humans would have been frustrated or angry at the alien ways, but Leo approached everything with curiosity and patience. He asked questions when he did not understand, listened carefully to advice, and applied it with precision. Even the Virene elders began to notice his potential. Their domestic life was simple but joyful. They shared meals in their quarters, studied maps of disputed territories, and spent evenings observing the stars. Every night they spoke quietly about their hopes, fears, and dreams. For Zara, these moments were precious. Leo's presence reminded her that courage was not only shown in battle or negotiation, but also in everyday life. Despite their happiness, tension lingered in the galaxy. Reports of renewed conflicts reached the Council daily. The two planets Zara had been negotiating between were growing restless, and smaller factions began attacking neutral trade routes. It was clear that war could erupt at any moment. One morning, Zara received a summons from the Council's high chamber. She knew immediately that the news would be serious. She entered the chamber with Leo at her side, the human diplomat standing tall and composed despite the whispers around him. The chamber was filled with delegates from multiple species. Their faces were stern, reflecting the gravity of the situation. The Council's leader, a tall being with blue crystalline skin, spoke with a voice that echoed through the hall. Zara, the situation is worsening. Reports indicate that the northern border of Arkan Prime has been attacked. Civilians have been caught in the conflict. The Council requests immediate action. Zara nodded, feeling a familiar weight settle in her chest. We will prepare a response. We cannot allow this conflict to escalate further. Leo placed a hand on her shoulder, offering silent support. We will face this together, he said. I will go with you wherever it is needed. Zara looked at him and smiled, grateful for his courage. We must move carefully. One mistake could cost many lives. Within hours, Zara and Leo were aboard a Council transport heading toward Arkan Prime. The planet was scarred by battle. Smoke rose from cities and the air was thick with dust. Civilians wandered the streets in fear, carrying what little they could save from their homes. Zara's heart ached at the sight. She had seen destruction before, but the human ability to feel and act in the midst of chaos always impressed her. Leo did not flinch. He walked calmly among the people, helping those in need, giving clear instructions to aid workers, and comforting those who were terrified. Stay close to me, he told Zara. We must ensure these people are safe before we talk to the leaders. Zara followed him, observing the precision of his actions. He was not just brave. He was intelligent and empathetic. He seemed to understand the urgency of the moment without being overwhelmed by fear. Later, they entered the temporary command center set up by the Council. The leaders of Arkan Prime and the attacking forces were present, guarded and tense. Zara and Leo prepared to mediate, knowing the situation was fragile. The leader of Arkan Prime, a tall figure with green skin and glowing eyes, spoke first. Our people are dying. We demand action. The opposing commander, a red-scaled alien, replied angrily. Your fleets crossed our borders. You provoked this attack. You must take responsibility. Zara stepped forward. We are here to prevent further bloodshed. Let us focus on solutions that save lives on both sides. Leo added, we cannot undo what has happened, but we can prevent more deaths. Let us work together to protect civilians and negotiate peace. The leaders glared at him, clearly skeptical of a human mediator, but Leo remained calm, showing no fear. He proposed a plan to establish safe zones for civilians, temporary ceasefires, and clear communication channels between armies. He explained each step with patience and clarity, answering questions and adjusting the plan as needed. Slowly, the leaders began to listen. They could not ignore the logic and compassion in Leo's words. Zara felt a surge of pride. She had chosen well. Leo's humanity was not a weakness. It was a strength. His courage inspired others to act responsibly. After hours of tense discussion, a temporary agreement was reached. Safe corridors were established and civilians could evacuate from the most dangerous zones. Soldiers agreed to stand down in certain areas while negotiations continued. It was not a permanent solution, but it was a start. As they left the command center, Zara placed a hand on Leo's arm. You did well, she said softly. These people will live because of you. Leo shook his head. We did this together. Your guidance, your strategies, and your courage made it possible. I am only one part of this. Zara smiled. She knew he was modest, but she also knew the truth. His actions on the battlefield were extraordinary. He had faced danger without hesitation and protected lives when others would have fled. Back aboard their transport, the weight of the day began to settle on them. Zara felt a mixture of relief, exhaustion, and lingering fear. She knew the war was far from over, and the enemies would not stop easily. But she also felt hope. Humans like Leo could make a difference in a galaxy that often underestimated them. During the night, Zara and Leo sat together in their quarters. The stars outside the viewport were bright and distant, a reminder of the vastness of the universe. "You were amazing today," Zara said. "I have never seen a human act with such courage and intelligence in a crisis." Leo looked at her, his eyes soft. "I learned from you. You taught me how to remain calm, how to think clearly, and how to lead with compassion. Without your guidance, I could not have done this." Zara reached for his hand, feeling the warmth and strength within it. "We will face more challenges. The galaxy is not peaceful, and there are forces that want to destroy hope. But together we can face anything." Leo nodded. "I will always stand by you, Zara. Whatever comes, I will not run. I will not falter." In that moment, Zara felt a deep sense of trust and love. She knew their marriage would face trials far beyond what most couples endured. They would be tested by war, politics, and the prejudices of others. But she also knew that with Leo, they could survive anything. The next day, as the transport approached their next destination, a warning came from the Council. Intelligence reports indicated that enemy forces were preparing a major assault on the border regions. The temporary peace they had negotiated might not last. Zara and Leo prepared for what was ahead. They trained together, reviewed strategies, and coordinated with local leaders. Each moment was filled with tension, but also determination. Leo looked at Zara as they studied the maps. "We cannot control everything, but we can make a difference where it matters most." "That is enough to start." Zara smiled, feeling the truth in his words. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but she also knew that humanity's courage, when combined with wisdom and compassion, could shine even in the darkest places. As the ship entered orbit above the contested planet, Zara and Leo stood together, ready to face the challenges of a galaxy at war. Theirs was a fragile union in a dangerous time, but it was also a union built on trust, courage, and hope, and for the first time, Zara truly believed that together, they could survive anything the universe threw at them. The air above the war-torn planet of Arkan Prime was heavy with smoke. Fires burned across the horizon, lighting up the clouds in orange and red. The ground trembled as distant explosions shook the earth. Zara gripped the railing of the observation deck on the Council transport, her heart racing. She had seen conflict before, but nothing like this. The reality of war was harsher than any negotiation or strategy session. Leo stood beside her, calm and steady. Despite the chaos, he appeared confident, ready to face the challenges ahead. His presence gave Zara strength, though she knew danger awaited them both. "We need to act quickly," Leo said. "The civilians are trapped, and the fighting shows no sign of slowing. We cannot wait for the leaders to reach a decision. Lives are at stake now." Zara nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She had trained for situations like this, but no amount of preparation could ease the fear she felt for Leo. He was not just a diplomat or an assistant. He was her husband. She could not bear the thought of losing him. The transport landed on the outskirts of a city that had been partially destroyed by shelling. Buildings were shattered, smoke billowed from the streets, and the cries of frightened civilians echoed through the ruins. Zara and Leo stepped out carefully, flanked by council guards. Leo's eyes scanned the area, noting the safest paths to evacuate civilians. "Stay close to me," Leo said. "We will move through the streets together. Keep calm and follow instructions." Zara followed him as he guided a group of civilians through the rubble. Children clung to their parents, and elderly citizens struggled to keep up. Leo's voice was firm but gentle as he reassured them, telling them they would be safe if they followed his lead. As they moved, an explosion rocked a nearby building. Dust and debris filled the air, and Zara instinctively covered her head. She looked up to see Leo pushing a mother and her child out of harm's way. He did not hesitate, even as flames leaped from the nearby building. Zara's breath caught. She had expected him to act bravely, but witnessing it firsthand was different. His courage was visible in every movement, every decision he made. He was not reckless. He was deliberate, ensuring that as many people as possible escaped harm. They reached a temporary safe zone where aid workers were treating the wounded. Civilians were organized, and the injured were transported to medical stations. Zara and Leo worked tirelessly, moving between groups, calming fears, and coordinating relief efforts. "This way," Leo called, leading another group through a narrow street. "Stay close. Keep moving. We will get you to safety." Zara marveled at his ability to remain composed. He was human, yet he moved through the chaos as if he belonged there. His bravery inspired the council guards and aid workers, who followed his directions without hesitation. Hours passed, and the battle showed no signs of slowing. Scouts reported that enemy forces were approaching a critical area, where civilians were concentrated. Zara knew the next few minutes could determine whether many lives would be lost or saved. Leo looked at her with determination. "We cannot retreat. People need us now. Are you ready?" Zara nodded. "Always." Together they moved toward the threatened area. Flames from a nearby explosion lit the streets and smoke choked the air. Civilians panicked, running in every direction. Zara guided them while Leo coordinated with the guards to block the approaching enemy forces and protect the evacuees. Suddenly, a heavy blast shook the ground nearby. Debris flew and a building collapsed, narrowly missing a group of civilians. Zara gasped, her heart pounding. She glanced at Leo and saw him charging forward, shielding the group and leading them to safety. Zara's fear for him surged, but she also felt pride. He faced danger without hesitation, putting the lives of others above his own. It was a moment that defined everything she admired about him: courage, selflessness, and unwavering determination. As they reached the outskirts of the city, scouts reported that the enemy was preparing a large-scale strike that could trap the remaining civilians. There was no time to wait for reinforcements. Leo made a quick decision. "We will split into teams," he said. "Zara, you lead the civilians to the evacuation point. I will take a group and clear the path." "Move fast and stay safe," Zara protested. "No, we go together." Leo shook his head firmly. "I cannot risk more lives. This is the only way." Zara saw the resolve in his eyes. She knew arguing would not change it. With a heavy heart, she nodded. "Be careful." "I will," Leo replied, his voice calm but filled with urgency. Zara led the civilians toward the evacuation point. Her mind split between fear for Leo and responsibility for the people she guided. She could hear distant explosions and the shouts of soldiers as Leo and his team engaged the enemy. Every second felt like an eternity. Meanwhile, Leo moved with precision and courage through the streets. He guided civilians out of danger, while positioning guards to block enemy advances. His decisions were quick and accurate, saving countless lives. Yet the danger grew with every passing moment. A massive blast erupted near Leo's team. Flames and smoke consumed the street. Zara, watching from a distance with the aid of a communication link, could only see the chaos unfold. Her heart stopped as she saw Leo engulfed in fire while pushing civilians to safety. "Leo," she shouted, though he could not hear her. Tears filled her eyes. She felt powerless, knowing she could not reach him in time. Despite the danger, Leo continued to act. He protected the civilians and cleared a path for them to reach safety. His courage shone brightly in the darkest moment, a beacon of hope in the midst of destruction. By the time the civilians were evacuated, the area was devastated. Smoke rose from the streets and fires burned uncontrolled. Zara rushed to the site with the council transport, hoping to find Leo safe. The devastation was immense. She searched frantically, calling his name. Her heart sank when she saw him lying motionless, surrounded by scorched debris. He had shielded the civilians until the very end. Zara rushed to his side, her hands trembling as she checked for signs of life. He was unconscious but alive. Medical teams arrived quickly and began treatment. Zara's relief was immense, but it was tempered by the knowledge of the sacrifices made. She had witnessed the bravery of one human who risked everything for others. His actions inspired the council guards and civilians alike, showing that courage and compassion could exist even in the darkest moments of war. That night, Zara sat beside Leo as he recovered. His face was blackened by soot and his clothes were burned, but his eyes opened slowly, meeting hers. "You saved them," Zara whispered, tears in her eyes. "You saved so many." Leo smiled faintly, exhaustion visible in his features. "We saved them, together. You guided them, Zara. I only did what I had to do." Zara shook her head. You faced death for others. That is more than anyone could ask. You were brave beyond measure. Leo took her hand weakly. Courage is not about never being afraid. It is about acting despite fear. I am human, yes, but that does not make me weak. I believe we can make a difference. That is what matters. Zara felt a mix of pride, love, and determination. She knew the road ahead would be even more dangerous. The battle had shown that the enemy was ruthless and willing to destroy anything in their path. Yet she also knew that humans like Leo could inspire hope and change the course of events. In the days that followed, the Council recognized Leo's heroism. Reports of his actions spread across Arkan Prime and neighboring systems. Humans, once underestimated, were seen in a new light. They were brave, capable, and willing to risk everything for the greater good. Zara and Leo continued to lead relief efforts. They trained local leaders, coordinated medical aid, and rebuilt communication lines. Each small victory strengthened their bond and demonstrated the power of unity and courage. Though the battle was only one of many to come, it marked a turning point. Zara saw clearly that humans could hold their own among the galaxy's greatest warriors and diplomats. And she knew that with Leo by her side, they could face any challenge, no matter how impossible it seemed. As they stood together on a rebuilt observation platform, looking at the horizon, Zara felt hope rise within her. The galaxy was dangerous and full of uncertainty, but bravery and compassion could shine brighter than fear. Leo placed a hand on her shoulder, steady and reassuring. We survived today, Zara, and tomorrow we will face whatever comes with courage. Together. Zara nodded, her heart full of determination. Together, Leo, we will face it all, and we will make a difference. The fires of the battlefield smoldered below, a reminder of the danger that still lingered. But in that moment, Zara and Leo knew they were not alone. Humanity's courage, combined with wisdom and compassion, could light the way even in the darkest hours of war. The Council Station was quiet after the battle. The smoke and chaos of Arkan Prime were replaced by the controlled hum of technology and the soft glow of lights that stretched along the corridors. Zara moved slowly through the halls, her mind heavy with grief. The events on the battlefield played over and over in her thoughts. The memory of Leo, standing bravely among flames and rubble, filled her with both pride and pain. Though he had survived, the injuries he sustained were severe. Medical teams worked tirelessly to heal him, and Zara spent every moment she could by his side. His body bore burns and scars, but his spirit remained strong. Yet she knew the true challenge was not just physical recovery. The war continued, and the galaxy's leaders were watching, waiting for guidance and courage. Zara walked to the council chamber for her first briefing since returning from the battlefield. Delegates from multiple planets were present, discussing the future of Arkan Prime and the surrounding regions. Many questioned humanity's role, some openly doubting that humans could handle the pressures of interstellar conflict. Zara spoke calmly, her voice firm and clear. The actions of one human, Leo, have shown courage and wisdom beyond what many expected. His decisions on the battlefield saved countless lives. Humanity is not fragile. It is capable of bravery and leadership when it matters most. The room fell silent. Some delegates shifted uncomfortably, but many listened with newfound respect. Zara continued, presenting a detailed plan to stabilize the region, rebuild the damaged cities, and create systems to prevent future conflicts. She emphasized compassion, responsibility, and unity across all species. After the council session, Zara returned to Leo's recovery chamber. He was awake now, though still weak. He smiled faintly when he saw her. You convinced them, he said quietly. I saw the council's reaction. You are strong, Zara. I am proud to be with you. Zara shook her head, holding his hand gently. We did this together, Leo. You showed them what courage looks like. I only spoke the truth. Your actions spoke louder than any words I could use. Leo looked out the viewport at the galaxy beyond. I wish it could have been different. I hate seeing the destruction. So many lives were affected. Zara stroked his hand. We saved many and we will save more. That is what matters. We cannot undo the past, but we can work for a better future. In the weeks that followed, Zara threw herself into her work. She visited the cities of Arkan Prime, speaking with civilians and leaders. She helped rebuild schools, hospitals, and homes. She coordinated relief efforts. ensuring that the injured received care and the displaced found shelter. Everywhere she went, she carried the memory of Leo's bravery, and it inspired others to act with courage and compassion. Word of Leo's actions spread quickly. Stories circulated among the council, across planets, and even among common citizens. Humans, once underestimated, were now seen as capable, courageous, and reliable. Zara watched as prejudice slowly faded, replaced by admiration and trust. Leo's actions had changed perceptions, proving that bravery was not limited by species. Yet Zara's pride was mixed with sorrow. Though Leo had survived, he had been permanently scarred by the battle. His body was healing, but she knew the scars would remain as a reminder of what he had endured. She spent hours with him, helping him recover, listening to his thoughts and supporting him in every way she could. One evening, as the stars glimmered outside their chamber, Zara and Leo spoke quietly about the future. "We have done much already," Leo said softly, "but the galaxy will not wait. There are still conflicts, still threats to peace. We must continue to act." Zara nodded. "I know, and we will. We will honor those we lost and those we saved by building a better world. Your courage has shown us the way." Leo smiled faintly. "You honor me, Zara. I only did what anyone should do. Protect lives, act with integrity, and never give up. That is all." Zara looked at him and saw the truth of his words. It was not just his bravery on the battlefield that mattered. It was his consistency, his compassion, and his unwavering sense of duty. That combination had inspired others to act, had shifted perceptions, and had changed the course of events in ways she could not have imagined. Meanwhile, the council faced new challenges. Smaller factions, seeing the vulnerability of the region, tried to take advantage of the post-battle situation. Zara presented strategies based on intelligence gathered from the front lines. She emphasized negotiation, empathy, and precise action. Where violence had once been the first choice, diplomacy now became the priority. Her leadership was tested constantly. Delegates questioned her decisions, sometimes openly criticizing her reliance on humanity and Leo's example. But Zara remained firm, reminding them that courage, compassion, and intelligence were not limited by species. Every decision she made reinforced the lesson that bravery could emerge from the most unexpected places. Zara also began a new initiative. She worked with other species to establish training programs for young humans and aliens, teaching them diplomacy, strategy, and the importance of empathy and leadership. She wanted to ensure that future leaders would be prepared, inspired by the example of Leo's actions and the lessons of the battlefield. Throughout this time, Leo remained her partner, offering support and wisdom despite his injuries. He took on smaller missions, assisting in negotiations and training new recruits. His presence reminded everyone of the power of courage and selflessness. Civilians, guards, and leaders alike looked up to him as a symbol of hope. One day, while reviewing reports of recovery efforts on Arkan Prime, Zara received a recorded message left by Leo before his final mission during the battle. His voice was calm and measured, filled with thoughtfulness and hope. "Zara," he said, "if you are hearing this, then the mission was successful, or at least we did our best. I want you to remember that courage is not about being unafraid. It is about acting despite fear. Protect lives, work with honesty, and never give up. You have the strength to lead, to inspire, and to make a difference. I believe in you." Zara watched the recording with tears in her eyes. His words touched her deeply. She realized that Leo had left more than a physical legacy. He had left a moral and emotional guide, a reminder of what it meant to act with bravery and integrity. The council, inspired by Zara and Leo's actions, began to implement broader initiatives. Safe zones were established across the galaxy in conflict areas. Training programs for diplomats and peacekeepers were expanded, and public recognition of courageous individuals became common. Humanity, once underestimated, earned respect as a species capable of leadership, compassion, and courage. Zara continued to honor Leo's example in her daily work. She visited recovering civilians, encouraged young diplomats, and reminded leaders of the importance of empathy in decision-making. Each action reinforced the lesson that courage and humanity could shine even in the darkest corners of the galaxy. At night, she often sat quietly beside Leo as he rested. They spoke softly about the challenges they had faced and the future that awaited them. His presence, even scarred and exhausted, was a constant source of strength for her. Together, they embodied the values they wished to see in the galaxy: courage, empathy, and unity across species. Zara understood that the battle was only the beginning. The galaxy would continue to face threats, and not every challenge would be won. But she also knew that hope, inspired by acts of bravery and compassion, could spread across worlds, changing hearts and minds. Leo's actions had ignited that hope, and she was determined to keep it alive. In the quiet moments of reflection, Zara often returned to the memory of the battlefield. She remembered the fear, the smoke and the heat of flames, but most of all she remembered Leo standing fearless among chaos, protecting lives and inspiring others. That memory was both a source of sorrow and of inspiration. It reminded her why she fought, why she led, and why courage mattered more than fear. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but Zara felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity's potential had been proven, and she had witnessed the power of one individual to change countless lives. With Leo at her side, she knew they could face any challenge and continue to inspire others to do the same. As she looked out at the stars from the council station, Zara made a silent promise. She would honor Leo's courage, protect those in need, and lead with compassion. She would show the galaxy that bravery and integrity could exist in every species, and that hope could thrive even in the shadow of war. The fires of Arkan Prime had burned, but from the ashes, a new hope arose. And in that hope, Zara and Leo would continue their journey, guiding the galaxy toward a future where courage, compassion, and humanity could shine brighter than any conflict. The interstellar council chamber was alive with tension. Delegates from countless planets had gathered for a summit to end the war and secure lasting peace across the galaxy. The scars of battles on Arkan Prime and other worlds were still fresh in everyone's minds. Leaders argued, debated, and challenged each other, each convinced of their own position. Zara stood at the center of the chamber, her posture calm but commanding. She looked out over the assembly, her heart steady. Beside her sat Leo, fully recovered, his face still bearing faint scars from the battlefield. Though some delegates still doubted humans, many looked at him now with respect. He was a living symbol of courage, compassion, and leadership. Zara took a deep breath. "Esteemed leaders," she began, her voice firm, "we have gathered here not to claim victory for one planet or species, but to protect all lives. The battles we have seen are a reminder that war destroys everything we hold dear. We must act together to build a future where peace is stronger than fear." She paused, letting her words sink in. "One human, Leo, has shown us the power of courage. He risked everything to save civilians on Arkan Prime, and his actions inspired countless others to act with compassion and integrity. Humanity, though once underestimated, has proven that courage is not limited by species. We can all learn from this example." A murmur ran through the chamber. Some delegates looked skeptical, but others nodded. The story of Leo's bravery had spread across the galaxy, reaching even those who had never interacted with humans. His courage had become a symbol of hope. Leo stood. "I am not here to boast," he said quietly. "I only did what anyone should do. Protect lives, act with honesty, and make the right choice even when it is difficult. We all have the ability to do this. We can save lives and build peace if we work together." His words were simple, yet they carried power. The room fell silent. It was clear that his actions and his words had shifted the atmosphere. The leaders who had doubted humanity now listened with attention. Zara presented the council with a detailed plan to end the war. She proposed clear terms for ceasefires, safety zones for civilians, and joint operations for rebuilding the damaged regions. She emphasized communication, mutual respect, and accountability. Each proposal was carefully explained, with examples drawn from recent events on Arkan Prime. Some delegates resisted. They claimed that humans could not be trusted and that their role in diplomacy was limited. Zara addressed them calmly. "Do not judge an entire species by the prejudices of the past. Look at the actions of today. Courage, compassion, and wisdom can come from anywhere, and humans have shown these qualities in abundance. Leo's bravery is proof that trust is earned through action, not assumption." One by one, the resisting delegates spoke, and Zara answered each challenge with logic, empathy, and unwavering determination. Leo added his perspective, explaining how collaboration and understanding could prevent future conflict. Together, they showed that strength did not come from weapons or dominance, but from unity and moral courage. As hours passed, the arguments began to shift. Leaders who had once opposed the proposals started to consider the benefits of cooperation. They discussed compromises, new strategies for resource sharing, and ways to protect civilians from the horrors of war. Slowly, a consensus began to form. Finally, after a long day of negotiation, a historic decision was made. The Council approved a galaxy-wide treaty designed to ensure peace, protect civilians, and promote collaboration among all species. Delegates signed the agreement, and representatives from each planet shook hands, symbolizing the end of hostilities and the beginning of a new era. Zara felt a surge of relief and pride. The work had been difficult, but it had succeeded. Humanity, once underestimated and doubted, had earned respect through courage and integrity. Leo's actions had inspired not only civilians and soldiers but also leaders across the galaxy. After the summit, Zara and Leo visited the memorial site on Arkan Prime. It was a simple monument, yet powerful, honoring those who had lost their lives in the conflict. Civilians placed flowers and lit candles, remembering the bravery of those who had risked everything to save others. Zara knelt beside the monument, her hand brushing over the engraved names. "We have done much, Leo," she said softly. "The galaxy is safer now because of you, because of the choices you made, and because of our commitment to protect life." Leo placed his hand over hers. "We have done this together, Zara. Courage is not about one person. It is about everyone who acts with integrity and compassion. This is a beginning, not an end." As they walked through the memorial, civilians came forward to thank them. Children clutched small tokens of appreciation, elders bowed in respect, and leaders of smaller communities expressed their gratitude. Leo's bravery had inspired not only humans but also countless other species. It had become a symbol that courage and honor could change the course of history. Zara realized that the greatest lesson from this conflict was not the strategy, the battles, or even the treaties. It was the reminder that hope, courage, and compassion could unite beings from across the galaxy. Even in the darkest moments, these qualities could shine brightly and inspire action. Back at the council station, Zara continued to work tirelessly. She established programs to train diplomats and peacekeepers from multiple species, emphasizing empathy, intelligence, and moral courage. Leo joined her in these efforts, sharing his experiences, teaching young humans and aliens alike, and demonstrating the impact of brave, ethical choices. The galaxy began to change. Conflict zones stabilized, communication improved, and prejudices against humans slowly faded. Civilians and leaders alike started to recognize that courage and compassion were not limited by species. Humanity earned a place among the galaxy's respected diplomats and peacekeepers, and Leo's actions became legendary. One quiet evening, Zara and Leo stood on the observation deck looking at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, filled with unknown worlds, challenges, and opportunities. Yet for the first time in a long time, Zara felt hope. "Do you ever imagine what the galaxy will be like in the future?" she asked. Leo smiled. "I do. I see a galaxy where people and species work together, where courage and compassion guide actions, and where life is protected. I see a galaxy where humans are no longer underestimated, but respected for what they can contribute." Zara nodded. "We will make it happen, together." Leo placed his hand on hers, his touch steady and reassuring. "Together, and no matter what challenges come, we will face them as one. Courage, compassion, and unity will guide us." The council had accomplished a historic victory, but Zara knew their work was never truly done. There would always be new threats, new conflicts, and new challenges. But the example set by one human, one woman, and the civilians they protected had changed the course of the galaxy. They returned to their quarters that night, tired but determined. Zara reflected on the journey they had taken, from the tense negotiations in the council chambers to the burning streets of Arkan Prime, to the moment of triumph at the summit. Each step had been difficult, but together they had shown that courage, honor, and compassion could overcome fear, prejudice, and chaos. Leo looked at her, his eyes filled with warmth. "The galaxy has learned that bravery comes from actions, not words. Humanity has earned respect, and you, Zara, have led with wisdom and strength that inspired everyone." Zara smiled softly. "We have done more than survive. We have made a difference." That is the greatest victory. In the days that followed, peace slowly spread across the galaxy. Citizens returned to their homes, trade resumed, and cooperation between planets became stronger than ever before. The story of Leo's courage and Zara's leadership became part of the teaching programs for young diplomats, ensuring that future generations understood the power of bravery, empathy, and unity. Years later, Zara and Leo returned to the battlefield site on Arkan Prime, now a thriving city with children playing in rebuilt streets and markets filled with life. They stood together, watching the people they had helped save. "Look at what they have built," Zara said, her voice filled with pride. Leo nodded. "It is proof that hope can grow even in the most broken places. Courage inspires change, and change inspires hope." They placed a small token at the site of the old monument, honoring those who had fallen and celebrating the lives that had been saved. Their hands touched, a symbol of partnership, trust, and love that had guided them through the darkest moments. The galaxy was vast, but Zara and Leo had proven that one human, guided by courage and compassion, could inspire countless others. They had faced fire and chaos and emerged stronger, shaping a future where humanity earned its place among the stars. As they looked out at the horizon, the sun rising over the newly rebuilt city, Zara knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity's journey was far from over, but the path had been lit by courage, integrity, and hope. Leo squeezed her hand. "We will continue, Zara. Together we will face every challenge, and humanity will always have the chance to shine." Zara smiled, her heart full. "Yes, Leo, together. And the galaxy will remember the courage that changed everything." The stars above gleamed as if in approval, reflecting the promise of a galaxy forever changed by bravery, compassion, and the enduring spirit of humanity.